Good evening and welcome to the 8th instalment of the Tuesday Night Live podcast. I'm Joe, your host for this evening. I have heard from Toby and he will be back home in about 15-20 minutes. So I am going to fly solo for now and hopefully you guys can put up with us for a little while. Hello to Bellix in the chat. It's good to see you. This is my first stream for about 3 weeks now. It's crazy actually how we haven't streamed for quite a while. And yeah, I'm back with the podcast tonight. I will be back tomorrow night as well with some more of the women's journeyman, not the journeyman, the women's creator club. There we go. We're also in the last week of the journeyman on the channel. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that while it lasts. Hello to Isaac from Malaga, or should I say hola. Hello to Joe Hansel and hello, there you go again, Bellix in the chat. So yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm flying solo at the moment. I'm under the impression that Toby's out, and he's just out a bit later than usual. So yeah, hopefully you guys are good. And tonight we will be talking about the Chinese Grand Prix over the weekend, and we'll also talk about what games we've been playing over the Easter break and what we've actually been up to. Hello to Robert in the chat as well. It's actually nice for me to just have a little chat with you guys. We will just have a general chat. I'll probably let you know what I've been up to over the Easter anyway. So obviously for you guys that don't know, I was down in Birmingham over the Easter weekend participating in the Football Manager Esports World Championship. See you later, Isaac. Enjoy the sights of España. And yeah, it didn't go too well, to be quite honest with you. I think the score lines don't reflect quite how I was playing, but it happens like that. We lost all 4 matches that I played, and it was a little bit. It was a little bit rubbish from me, but basically in all the matches I was a goal down with 10 minutes to go, so just ended up going for it and conceding another 2. So, I'd rather do that than lose 2-1 and regret not going for it. So, yeah, second match was probably the burn, to be perfectly honest with you, because we dominated. We absolutely dominated the match. Went 1-0 up early on. We probably had about 15-20 shots on target. His goalkeeper was amazing. Edison, I think, was the goalkeeper for him. And, we could have been 4-5-0 up. But he got a goal back in the 75th minute, I think it was. And then he scored another one straight after it. And I just thought, I can't believe this. This was the second match of the competition. So if I lost that, I'd already lost the first one. I was virtually out of the competition. So yeah, I was very disappointed and maybe rashly put everybody up front. And we lost 4-1, and it was really, really disappointing. So my day was pretty much over then. I had a look round Insomnia, which was a little bit disappointing, to be honest with you. It really wasn't my cup of tea. I went on some sort of F1 simulator experience, but it was absolute rubbish. It was just like a ride, really. We watched Lewis Hamilton. The simulator experience I had in Italy, if you haven't seen it on the channel, was fantastic. I actually sat in an F1 simulator and drove 15 minutes of a Ferrari F1 car. It was brilliant. But evening 2, old lady players, yeah, I'm just on my own for the minute. We're waiting for Toby Jones, who is out at the moment, or TIJ. We're waiting for him to come along, and hopefully he won't be too long. Yeah, so the Chinese GP was amazing. I imagine Max Verstappen will make a topic this evening, probably. Although I think Toby's probably got quite liberal views on Max Verstappen. Yeah, Chinese Grand Prix was good. Well, second half of it was, once the pit stops happened. The GP was great. I really want them to do the new simple front wings, and they can follow closely, and it would be even better. Yeah, agreed with that. I was gutted the the good captain here did not take my sushi recommendation. Yeah, I don't really know why we didn't. Yeah, I am streaming tomorrow, by the way, old lady players. You kept an eye out for us in Birmingham. Yeah, we got to we left Manchester probably about 8:30, something like that. So we got the NEC about 10. Took me about an hour to get set up. It was an absolute hassle. Nobody seemed to know why I was there. But hey ho, that happens. We finally got set up, set the computer up and stuff, and then just left it. And then it's about a 10-15 minute drive into Birmingham from there. We were staying at the Holiday Inn, sort of slap bang in the city centre, really. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. We really enjoyed Birmingham, and then we went shopping. We went around the Bull Ring. We also went up the High Street. Actually, we went to the High Street first because we were too early to check into the hotel. So we went up the High Street. We went to KFC. Had a KFC, obviously, and then I had a good look around CEX, one of my favourite shops, and really enjoyed that. And then we went down towards the Premier Inn, and not Premier Inn, Holiday Inn, and we checked in all the stuff. And then we went off to the Bull Ring and had a good look around that, which was really cool. We really enjoyed having a look around the shops. Went to Costa, and then we went to somewhere called Ciello's for tea, which was a little bit snazzier than my usual place, but you know. That's that's the way it goes. They offered to take our coats as we went in, and that's a little bit more snazzy than what I usually have. But no, it was really good food. We really enjoyed that. We were going to meet up with Kev and Old Man Sudo and all them afterwards, but we were a little bit late. To finish off, and they'd already took their train back to the NEC because they were staying next to that. And then we went to the NEC on the morning. And she went to Cadbury's World, so that was really cool. You would have bought us a pint. Well, you still can buy us a pint. But yeah, I am streaming tomorrow. I think it might actually. Hold on. Let me see. Is that? I'm trying to work out what you can see behind. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm guessing you can see some of the rooms. So let's sort this green screen out. Doing all this admin while Toby's away. But I think that's a bit better. You can still see the outline, but I don't care anymore. Don't care. They don't take your coat at KFC over there. They do take your coat, but they just run out the door and don't give it back. Yeah. No, so it'll probably be the last women's one tomorrow. I think we've got the end of the season tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm going to do season 2. We'll see what the turnout is like tomorrow, and we'll see how it's going. But yeah, 10 minutes into the podcast, not much has happened at all. Let me know what you guys were up to over the Easter period. What have you done since I saw you last, as it were. Please do let me know. But yeah, that was pretty much all we did over Easter. That was noteworthy. Yeah, it was quite a fun time down in Birmingham, and yeah, I avoided the M6 toll, which was nice. Didn't have to pay that. You had sushi, ironically. I missed out, apparently. I missed out. Never mind. But 9 people watching, considering this is just a monologue so far. So a big hello to all those 9 people. Yeah, that would be great if we could all leave a like in the down below. That would be great, and make Toby think that this thing does better while he's away. Do you feel super Geordie in Birmingham? I mean, yes and no. I don't think I really talked to anybody down in Birmingham. It was really weird. Apart from at the NEC, I don't think I really talked to anybody. But yeah, it was strange. Obviously, nobody speaks my sort of language down there. But I'm used to it now. Obviously, with Mrs. Goodspeed being from Manchester and spending a lot of time down there, you know. I've been playing Champ Manager loads, as on Monday the 2nd I dropped a 120 kilogram beer keg on your foot. Ow. Ouch. Speaking of Championship Manager, I did pick up this yesterday on my travels to CEX. Championship Manager 2001 or 2000 to 2001 season. So expect a video on that if I can get it working at any point. I also picked up the strategy guide as well a couple of weeks ago, and I've been having a good read of that. It's really good. Lime and lemonade for the win. Really high on painkillers. There was a lack of whey down here for sure. I don't say whey, but yeah, that is a great game. No, I believe you. Expect to see videos on it. Obviously, I've been doing this whole old Football Manager games predicting the 2017-18 season. So I think it might be quite interesting to actually go back to a game that was made in presumably 2000 and see what that thought was going to happen in the 2018 season. I think that would be quite funny. And CM4, I have actually bought CM3. I don't think it's CM4 actually. It might be. Hold on, let me have a look. I'll go on my eBay purchase history. We'll have a look. I'm not going to share my screen, but I will. I will announce it. Apparently it wants to confirm my identity, so I shall be back in a second. Just try and destroy everything near my desk while that's going on. So there we go. Love it. Right, let's see what the pin is. So put that in, and let's have a look on the purchase history. So yeah, I bought Championship Manager 03/4 and Championship Manager 4. So I did buy those complete with manuals and strategy guides. That is what I like to hear, everybody. Now then, the tracker number. Apparently it was meant to come on Saturday, but it hasn't yet. Let's track my Royal Mail delivery. Let's all leave. Thanks. Got you can download 97.98 for free. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Can you imagine if TIJ turns up now? Like, what the bleep is this? Who do you think will win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship after watching the first 3 races? I still think Hamilton and Mercedes. I don't think Ferrari will manage to keep going through the whole season. But, you know. I might be wrong. Might be wrong. Let's play Royal Mail track and trace with Captain Goodspeed. Apparently, they haven't attempted to deliver the parcel yet, so strange. Well, let me just have a look at this guy's feedback. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Everybody's saying, yeah, this guy's good. So I think I'll email him about the item. Mercedes and Vettel. The thing is, I don't think Vettel will be consistent enough to win the championship. I'd love to see Ricciardo win it, to be quite honest. Right then. There we go. Let's just contact him. Here we go. Hi there. I mean, maybe he sent it to the wrong person. Would just be my luck, that, wouldn't it? You just need to be careful and use common sense, and you're usually golden. Yeah, that's to do with the downloads and stuff, innit? Ferrari will muck themselves up by wanting Vettel to win, and Kimi will get screwed. Yeah. I've downloaded a few games, no problem. Driver moves next year. I don't know. I don't see Bottas staying at Mercedes another year. I think Fernando Alonso will leave McLaren unless they really, really improve. Because, you know, I think we're all finding out that their car isn't as good as what they all thought. And, you know, people were jumping on the bandwagon, just like Toby, by the way. And, yeah, you know, I think he could well leave at the end of the year. Absolutely, I did too back in the day, but the viruses scare me more now. Oh, I just scare more easily. Isn't Sainz only on loan at Renault? Yeah, I mean, he could. The thing is, Sainz, I think if Renault want him, they can probably keep him. But it's whether Ricciardo leaves Red Bull and then Sainz will go back to Red Bull, you would imagine. Can you increase your motorsport manager 50%? Nah, I think they're long enough. I mean, they're half-an-hour episodes. That's long for a YouTube video. 50% is fine for me. 25%, sorry. Easier malware and stuff. I can remove that myself. A lot of viruses attached to old games are just those annoying pop-up viruses. I can remove them manually. I'll be staying away from them. If Bottas is consistent, he will stay. So far, yeah, he's outqualified Hamilton, but, you know, over 21 races, I'd be very surprised if Bottas outqualifies Hamilton over the season. I think he will be at Red Bull. Ricciardo to Mercedes, and Kimi will do one more year. Yeah, Kimi will always do one more year. Bottas to Renault could be one. It could be a decent guess. Yeah. Here he is. The Slacker. Anyone interested in the Battletech game coming out next week? I'm not personally, but some people might be. Can't imagine Bottas at Renault. Just having my dinner, and then I'll be there. Look who Max Verstappen is making too many mistakes, but he's young. Though what he did to Vettel was just stupid. Did you think it was a penalty in the Real Juve game? And to be honest, I was angry at how Buffon thought he was on top of the world, especially with his reaction. United won the Manchester derby. Well, yeah, but City won the title, didn't they? Great, Jamie. You are the epitome of annoying Manchester United fans. I've just got to say that. Just... I've not actually seen the penalty, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Buffon was a little bit up himself, but yeah. Also, you supporting any county? Nope. Nope. Cricket doesn't interest me. As much as people don't believe me every time I say it, cricket does not interest me. Everyone leave because Toby will hog the stream now. I'm sure Joe heard what Hamilton said in the cool down room about Max. I mean, I haven't, but I can imagine there were probably choice words. I think he supports Durham. I mean, if any, I would support Durham. Yeah, a dislike popped up when TIJ did. Well, it must have been TIJ. We've got 15 people watching now. So, I mean, that's more than we usually get, apart from the Kev episode. So, yeah, big thank you to everybody for sticking with us. I've been pretty much, rambling on about something or nothing for the last 15 minutes, but that's the way it goes. It's been more than 15 minutes, I think, actually. Trying to work it out. 23 minutes and 22 seconds I've been streaming from OBS, so it's probably a little bit under that. Let's see if this eBay guy has got back to us yet. I doubt it. Oh, Kanga FM went live on Twitch. Should we all go and raid Kanga? You can't do that on YouTube. Yeah, 18 minutes according to YouTube. Spurs 0, Brighton 0 at half time. Vettel backed Hamilton in the press conference about what he said about Verstappen. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree about the things about Verstappen. I think he is just a bit wild, and I personally really don't like Verstappen. I know he's got a lot of fans, but yeah, I really don't like him. Got any exam advice? It depends what exams you're doing. If it's A-levels, practice papers all the time. If it's GCSEs, pretty much the same. Try and sort of do mind maps of things for like science and English maybe. But yeah. Uni exams, you tell me. Bellick, so Joe, how come you don't like cricket and you play the games and know a fair bit about it? I mean, I'm pretty good at keeping up with sport news, so to speak. I don't ever watch football, but I pretty much know all the players and know the teams and stuff. With cricket, county cricket, I have no clue about. But England I keep up to date with, and I pretty much know all of them, and I get my knowledge from Cricket Captain, to be quite honest with you. And you'll see that in my Cricket Captain series. I always go for players I've heard of rather than anything else. So yeah, that's just the way it is, really. I don't enjoy cricket anymore. I don't have Sky. I think that's a big part of it. I don't have any access to live cricket, so I don't watch it. I don't have Sky Sports. I have Sky, not Sky Sports, though. So yeah, I don't like Verstappen either. Join the club. Will the F1 career return, especially with the F1 2018 mod out now? No, because, well, certainly not with mods, because I play PS4, so you can't have mods. It might well come back. I do have plans to bring it back. It's just having the time to record it. It is a time-intensive game at the end of the day. And yeah, it is difficult to record it. But I do have plans to do it. I don't know when, though. I can't believe F1 2017 is still 48 quid on Steam. Same. Who's your favourite F1 driver? Nico Hulkenberg. Is it because cricket is too much of a Nancy Southern sport that offends you, grizzled northern attitude? No. I mean, if I had access to live cricket, would I watch it? Probably, you know. But just not as interested in it as I was when I was younger. You know, my sports are sorry about hitting the mic. Snooker, tennis, and Formula 1. You know, they're my sports, really. And, you know, I love playing Football Manager. I don't have much interest in watching it. I don't really support a team. I know I'm an Arsenal supporter. Like, if I had to choose, I would choose Arsenal. But I'm not really bothered that they're doing terrible this season. I'm not particularly bothered about any teams. But, yeah. My exam advice, if it's a fact-based exam, then practice the facts. If it's an opinion-based, then practice your opinions. So math, science, and engineering, learn the facts. Exactly. And with maths, you know, because I am a mathematician, I'm going to be a maths teacher. You just need to keep practicing the same processes. That's what maths exams are. They're testing what your teachers have been teaching you for the last however many years, the same methods. You know, you just need to practice. That is as simple as that. And from English or RE or something like that, I remember that we just used to learn quotes that we could always use for a multitude of questions. History as well. You know, you learn events that work for multiple things. I think that's the way you have to think with exams, is try and learn the things that cross over into as many questions as possible. You know, try and learn as little as possible to do as well as possible, because if you learn too much, you don't know what to put on the page and you get stressed, and it's just, yeah, I think you can be overworked. My favourite driver is Gasly. Interesting, very interesting. Any reason why, Joe? Why don't you just stream it online, Joe? In fairness, I'm with you, cricket does not hold the mystique it used to. To be honest, I've got no interest in streaming stuff online. I don't have much time. I'd rather play a game than watch sport, live sport, unless it's Formula 1 or snooker or tennis. It's as simple as that. I just would not have the time to do it. I do like a bit of Netflix every now and then, though. I like snooker too, mainly because it's good that it's on the BBC. Yeah, it's really good snooker, and it is the final qualifiers for the World Championship today and tomorrow, which has been quite exciting. They're streaming it on YouTube and Facebook, which is good, and the crossing between the tables, it's very good to see. Where's Toby? Where's Tobias? I didn't come here for a maths lesson. Love how Palmer joins the BBC to provide great analysis, but he has no podium finishes, no race wins, never got a fastest lap, and he's only completed like 37 races. Just great. Well, that's just like Karun Chandok being the sort of analysis guy on Channel 4, you know. He only had a season in F1. He raced one race in 2011. Yeah, you know, it's just exactly the same. Palmer knows a lot more than some of the people that report on the BBC, i.e. Andrew Benson, i.e. Jack Nicklaus. You know, I mean, Jack Nicklaus is a great commentator, but he hasn't raced in 37 F1 races. Are you aware that, say, a 40-year-old Johanna maths teacher maestro will have some kid in his class go on YouTube and find the Captain Goodspeed? I would encourage that, because I'll still be doing YouTube content then. Here's Toby. I'll just finish off reading the rest of the comments. Have you watched 13 Reasons Why? No, but Rachel has, and she very much approved of it. The big scandal will be, wow, it's in 2D. Touche. That channel for analysis guy really gets my back up. I don't know why. Put a Karoon Chandok. Anyway, hello Toby. How are you doing, sir?
My humblest apologies, good sir. I'm all right. I'm very good actually. I'm just a bit flustered, I suppose you could say. I got back in 5 minutes ago, as many of you would have seen in the comments. But yeah, I'm good. And so, when have you been live from? You know, have you been
about 8:10. I was talking with Alex in the chat, and he was like, "Oh, have you heard from Toby?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm just gonna do it solo." And you know, we had about 50 people in here 10 minutes ago, so
I'll go again. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. I'm off. Yeah. Yes, I'm good. Just give me a minute to find my bearings and breathe. And yeah, then we'll have a bit of a chat. I don't even know what the topics are.
Yeah, well, I've got Rory McIlroy on the back there, because I know you want to talk about that. Obviously, the Chinese Grand Prix as well. And I thought we'd just catch people up on what we've been up to over the last few weeks. I've already done that, so you can do that if you want. Bellix, I had tagliatelle and meatballs, which was very nice. Toby will give us the lowdown on his tea in a minute, I'm sure. And there were no dislikes till you showed up, Toby. Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, dear.
I'm not saying anything.
Well, we've got 9 likes at the minute, 13 people watching. That means at least 4 people have not liked the thing yet. The stream. Yeah, probably you.
Right, let's mute this. Right. Right, suppose you're the host, so, you know, ask me a question and I'll try my best to answer. Oh, by the way, what's everyone think of the shelf? No, not the shelf. The cupboard behind me. Has everyone noticed that?
I'm going to get it up on big screen.
Has everyone noticed the
where'd
cupboard
you buy
behind me?
those trophies?
I didn't buy them. I won them. Yes, that's F1 2012 champion. That one is F1 32 runner-up. No, they're karting trophies. Anyway, you're the host.
Cool. That's cool.
Ask
Anyway, what did you have for tea, Toby? That's the first
I
question
had
tonight.
Chicken, onions, and mushroom in hoisin sauce with some broccoli rice, which I didn't particularly. The broccoli rice didn't quite hit the sweet spot, but a bit of protein after a lot of manual labour, you know. It was nice, yeah. But I didn't come here to talk about my tea.
There you go.
Chinese Grand Prix.
Toby's
time for a
getting
new PGA game and an Easter review.
Toby's getting ratty now. So, over the weekend, obviously, we had the Chinese Grand Prix, 3rd race of the season. And Sebastian Vettel won the first 2 races, of course, and there was a stat flown round that was anybody who's won the first 3 races of a season's gone on to win the World Championship. Cautious Ball, what on earth has happened to Liang Wenbo today? 9-0. Yeah, I know, he nearly got 2 147s the other day. Sorry about this. Which was absolutely crazy. But his highest break today is 19. I really don't know what's happened there, but hey ho, Jamie Jones has been on fire apparently and heading through the crucible. But anyway, so Sebastian Vettel on a 2 race winning streak. Ferrari, to be fair, I don't think they've been the fastest team in the first 2 races. You know, I think obviously they won the first race because of the virtual safety car. I don't think any of us will argue with that. And the second race, Bottas had a big chance of winning that, so it could have quite easily been Hamilton-Bottas going into this race. So, but yeah, it was a bit of a interesting Friday. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton completely dominated Friday, and it looked like, oh, Mercedes are back here. And then Saturday comes along. Apparently, they made some changes overnight, and the temperatures were down, and all of a sudden, Mercedes were well off, and you know they were sort of half a second down on Vettel and Raikkonen in the end, and that's, I don't know whether it's concerning, but it's surprising.
In the first time for a while, I was shocked. And
yeah, it was kind of like Mercedes around Singapore.
Yeah, because China is a massively Mercedes track. I mean, I don't think they've lost there since 2013 when Rosberg got his first win.
2012, yeah, 2012.
And qualifying was just amazing because, Ferrari were ahead of them, and even Red Bull was sniffing down the necks, and it was just like, oh my god, they were really bad, and it was funny, but as a pundit, I'm going to be respectable, and just say that it was quite a shock that Bottas beat Hamilton as well. He has been a better driver than Hamilton this season. Apart from that fantastic pole lap in Australia, what else has he done this year?
I don't know. Second race, Hamilton was quite competitive. From ninth on the grid, he finished third.
Anyone would have done that in that car.
I mean, you can say that, but Bottas didn't do it in Australia, did he? So
yeah, but you can't have a take in Australia. Let's be fair.
Yeah, here we go.
It's good from Hamilton. Intentionally took Verstappen out. I'm joking. But yeah, that was good. So Bahrain, quick one. Really annoys me how Daniel Ricciardo seems to think that he'd have made the move on Vettel, because he wouldn't have done, because he wasn't close enough, Bottas. So I don't know why they're banging on about he would have made the move, because what a load of friars balls.
I think I get the point. I think the point was on turn one on the final lap. If Bottas lunged down the inside, he may have made the move. But
I don't think he was close enough. Coming into that braking zone, he wasn't close enough. And at the end of the day, Bottas, he'd been the better driver, hadn't he? And second place, fair enough, consolidated. You might say at the end of the season, if Vettel wins the championship by 6-7 points, that's the reason why. But, he consolidated. And, the likes of Ricciardo might have done it, but then might have took him and Vettel out the race.
Yeah,
so,
100%. Yeah, I agree.
But I just don't think looking at that, looking at it over and over again, that he would have made the overtake. So that's that. China, quick one about Verstappen and Vettel. I think that people are overreacting way too much to that. I thought that, personally, that was a good move. Until they crashed into each other, obviously. Verstappen saw a gap. He went for it. And I think that Vettel didn't necessarily close the door, but I don't think Vettel saw him. So Vettel moved too much into the inside, which meant Verstappen hit him. If Vettel would have maybe run a little bit, not wide, but a bit wider, then they might have been able to make it through that corner. But if Daniel Ricciardo would have made that move and they'd have gone off, then he wouldn't be, ripped apart so much. But because it's Max Verstappen, and it hasn't worked, then people are, going mad and, comparing him to Kvyat. Well, Verstappen is better than Kvyat. Even though Kvyat was a good driver, Verstappen is better than Kvyat. And I will put it out there now, Verstappen is better than Ricciardo.
I disagree with that.
And he is. And I won't accept any other opinion. But
because that's just Toby all over. He won't accept other opinions.
No, I won't. Verstappen is mad, but that he's brilliant. He's the quickest driver in F1. Bar. I'm trying to make a funny joke now. Who's the slowest? Stroll! Sorry. I forgot Stroll, the best driver in F1. Sorry, it's been a long day.
Coming back to the point about Verstappen and Vettel, I think the whole reason there's a big, hoo-ha about it is because it's 2 races in a row that Verstappen has been involved in an incident, and he has been a fairly erratic driver in his time in F1. I think he has made some fantastic overtakes. I don't say that he hasn't, but he has had a fair few crashes and a fair few incidents, and he's really annoyed a lot of the top drivers, which it kind of goes back to 2012 when Grosjean was doing that, and people were going off at Romain Grosjean because he was having incidents every race, and Verstappen's had 2 incidents in the first 3 races, 2 big incidents, and it'll be interesting to see what happens going into Baku, because obviously a lot of incidents generally happen there, and if Verstappen has another big incident, then I have to say question marks have to be, raised, to be honest with you. I think...
I do get your point. Yeah, I absolutely get that, but trust me, don't trust me, I don't want to get into an argument about it, but Verstappen... Ricciardo's the best overtaker in F1. That's correct, tick box on that. But I think on raw pace, when Verstappen's at his best, he will beat Ricciardo. A little bit like, I don't like to say it, when Hamilton's at his best, he will beat Valtteri Bottas. When Sebastian Vettel's at his best, he will beat Kimi Räikkönen. I just feel that, yes, Ricciardo's quick, but John-Eric Verne was as good as Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz is as good as Max Verstappen. Is Carlos Sainz better than John-Eric Verne? Yes. So, by that assumption, I know that sounds stupid, but by that assumption, I mean, calling the best driver when he was prone to errors. Well, a lot of drivers when they're young have a lot of incidents. I know Verstappen's not young now. I know you can't blame it on that. But,
I mean, he is young. He is young.
But he's not 17. Watch Verstappen try to go too wide. Yeah, probably. Even though Baku's the worst track on the calendar and it should be banned, apart from Russia. There's no point in pace without control. Well,
what about Monaco then? If you're gonna call them awful tracks,
I don't know where I'm going with this, Paul. I'll be honest, but yeah, he's not doing drag races. Well, I don't know how to respond to that, but bring back Joe's maths check. Yeah, all right, I'm off. But at least you're honest, Paul.
I think Kimi is better than Vettel. I don't agree with that. I think they're a lot closer match than what people think.
You know what?
But...
You know what? I'm gonna agree with him because I need some support in the comments. Yes. This year, Kimi has been better than Vettel.
Yeah, this year he has been. Yeah.
Kimi has been Vettel. Vettel than Vettel. Kimi has been better than Vettel.
I think he was in 2015 as well, to be fair. The early races in 2015, he was better than...
I nearly cried at the fact that he beat him on the last lap in China. I nearly cried why they left him out for like 9 laps more. I was gutted in Bahrain and even more gutted for that poor mechanic. And he's just been given all the bad luck by Ferrari. Well, not bad luck. He's just been given dodgy strategies. And I think...
I mean, to be fair, the strategy didn't work out too badly for Raikkonen in the end in China. I know he stayed out for 19 laps longer, or 9 laps longer.
Then again, they should have brought him in when the safety car came in. I mean, that was shocking strategy by Ferrari. For the richest team in F1, they've got no good strategies.
But they had just brought him in a couple of laps ago, hadn't they? So,
doesn't matter, though. Tyres are tyres, you know what I mean?
To be if anybody's going to complain about strategy, I think it's Mercedes this season, really. Hamilton was, 10 seconds or 5 seconds behind Verstappen, and, they didn't pit under safety car. They had nothing to lose, really, Mercedes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't pit, but it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, I agree about all the mechanic stuff in the comment. I'm trying to figure out what we're trying to get back to here, but let's go. But I think we probably need to leave the politics for a few weeks because it's stressful to talk about when I'm in this sort of mood. But back to the Chinese Grand Prix. It was a good race. The first half of the race wasn't brilliant, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
As soon as that safety car came out, it really changed things. And I'm more than happy for Ricciardo. He's not my favourite driver in F1. But, you can't not like him, can you? And I thought with the contrast of him, Bottas and Raikkonen in the podium room, this will be interesting. But, they're all... I think they should consider a minimum time for a pit stop. We'll talk about that one next week. I don't know where I'm going. I honestly don't. Nightbot coming up every 2 messages is annoying me, by the way.
What isn't annoying you, Toby?
Well, we beat Bournemouth at the weekend. That was nice. United lost, but then City won the league. That was aggravating. But yeah, I feel that I don't know why, but no one's liking my opinions tonight. You know, usually they're all happy. You know, tonight we've got a bit of a rowdy audience, haven't we? But safety, yes, I understand that argument. But there's always two arguments to every story. I think they're trying to shave fractions off when it's borderline impossible. It's tricky because it seems that F1 is all about it's calculated risk, isn't it, really? The drivers, you know, the team members go out there, not necessarily the mechanics risk their lives, but what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that what happened to the mechanic is justified, no way. But I just feel that these sort of things do happen sometimes. And the problem is, a bit like with, do you remember Mark Webber a few years ago? Was it? Mm-hmm. It was Nürburgring, wasn't it? When the tyre hit that cameraman. Yes, it was nasty. And then all of a sudden, you know, they kind of changed the rules. This is the problem with F1. It's a little bit like the virtual safety car thing. You know, as soon as Vettel gained on it in Australia, everyone was, you know, going, oh, well, you know, we should change the virtual safety car rules. You can't just change the rules every time it doesn't. And I agree, it's a little bit different because, you know, as you say, it's endangering mechanics. But it was human error, wasn't it? That's what it was. It wasn't really the fault of the automated systems. At the end of the day, all Kimi's looking at is that light. Once that goes green, he puts his foot down. And exactly, at the end of the day, accidents always happen. It's impossible to be completely safe. In normal walks of life, these things happen. You know, you're on the motorway, you might get a puncture. These sort of things happen, you know. And exactly, it's danger. We know danger is a real sport. That's my problem with the Halo, to be honest. And no, I agree with that. Do you remember I didn't. Bandwagon? I didn't. Do you remember when I said McLaren would do second in the constructors?
I didn't say that. It was Toby. I always said that McLaren would be a lot worse than people think. I said they would finish fourth, and I still think they probably will. Unless though to be fair, I think Renault are better, much better than McLaren at the minute. So yeah, I didn't jump on the bandwagon. It was this man here to the right of me.
I know McElroy did, yeah. I don't talk about him often, but Hulkenberg's had a really good season, hasn't he?
I know you don't like him, do you? But
it's not I don't like him, for heaven's sake. It's just I'm not mad on him. You know,
I've always massively rated Hulkenberg, and he's always got the best out of his car. I don't think there's been a season where he hasn't got the best. Yeah. You know, I think there was one season where Perez had the better of him, but then in that season Perez had 3 podiums. You know, and you know, other than that, I think Hulkenberg's pretty much beat all of his teammates since Barrichello. So, you know. I think he's a lot better than people make out, and I think give him a Ferrari seat, or you know, Mercedes maybe at the end of the season.
Tell you who was shocked in his season, Magnussen, because he never really seemed to be too brilliant, did he? He's outpaced. Grosjean's been particularly unlucky in the race this year. He hasn't picked up a point yet, but Magnussen's been really good. And what I like about Magnussen, he's a little bit like, he's not like Verstappen. He's not mad, but he's willing to put his car on the line, his car on the line, and you know, he just goes for it, and I think it's brilliant, you know. And if you don't have those sort of drivers in the sport, they're just boring. I mean, fair enough, Ricciardo does it right, and that comes from experience, and particularly though, with Ricciardo hasn't had those crashes really. Ricciardo's just always been a good overtaker, but if you don't try, what on earth has he got on his screen? You had something on your screen about 30 seconds.
It's HQ at the minute. So, I am listening to you, but I'm also playing HQ. So,
fancy, very fancy. But yeah, I'm just shocked by Magnussen. He's done really well.
He has,
Hulkenberg's done well as well. Ericsson, great for him to pick up points in Bahrain. I really liked that. And Williams are a laughing stock, and that's because
what do you think of your boy Van Dorn, by the way?
Eh?
What do you think of your boy Van Dorn?
Unlucky. When you're with the best driver in F1, it's tricky to to be better than him. And I just think he's been a bit unlucky. I think it'll come. I don't necessarily agree with your statement that he'll become another Magnussen just yet. I know, letting me rant. I will let him speak in a minute, but I thought because I've come in late, I might have just a little bit of airtime. I know Joe's going to roll his eyes now. I can just see it.
I mean, to be fair, I had the first half an hour, so take as much time as you want.
True. Not that I don't anyway, but yeah. See, it's the problem when you start talking. I forgot what I'm talking about. Shocking. Oh God. Magnussen. We're still talking about Magnussen. Oh, Williams? No, Van Dorn. I'm not sure about that yet. I just think that he's been a bit unlucky so far. Williams are a laughing stock. That's because of two things. Their car and their drivers. Stroll is the worst driver in F1, hands down. And I so agree with the Williams performance thing because I was a fan of them really until the end of last year. I mean, I like Massa. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Bottas. And I just like the team. But one thing I'd recommend you go and watch, actually, is the Williams documentary because...
I'll be back in 2 minutes. Keep going.
Okay. It shows Frank Williams out to be a bit of an idiot. You know, a bit of a self-arrogant idiot, really. And it really shocked me, that did. Because, you know, Williams are a heritage of F1. One of the teams the heritage of F1. I think other than McLaren and Ferrari, they are, the most established team in F1. There's no one else, is there, really? But like me and Joe, I think have both said, I think they'll probably both be gone in the next. They'll probably be gone in the next 5 or 10 years, which is really a shame. They just haven't got the money, have they? And the documentary just called Williams. It was a BBC film, I think. I'll put the IMDb link in the chat. It was it's on Netflix, I believe. So if you've got Netflix, you can get it. But no, it was really good. It was just, I don't know if will it let me put links in? Yeah, it will, because I'm a mod. But it was really good, and it just showed him out to be a bit of an idiot, really. And that shocked me a lot, and kind of, I suppose, that turned me off a little bit. McLaren is also in a very good documentary, the Grand Prix driver one, I think. Yeah, there's two, isn't there? There's that film, McLaren film about Bruce himself, and there's one, the Grand Prix drive. Both really good documentaries. But the Williams one, I was just shocked at how much... basically, I'll just give you a bit of context into the film. When him and his wife got married, Williams basically, Frank himself, got married, but then didn't go on honeymoon, went straight back to the factory. No honeymoon. When the kids and his wife went on holiday, he didn't go. He just seems a bit of a idiot, and well, I'll let you watch the documentary for yourself. Yeah, let Hill leave and let Villeneuve leave. Exactly, it's just no consistency and only cares about money. And Claire Williams seems really nice, genuine woman, and she could be really good for the future of the sport. You can reply on here to let Toby keep rabbiting on. It was McLaren with Prost who were the killers. Yeah, McLaren, Prost, Senna. Obviously Senna, Williams and McLaren as well. But we've got a bit in depth, haven't we, about the history of F1. But Williams, dying shame. But, with a driver lineup like that, it's the weakest on the grid at the end of the day. That's the way it is. And I think, really, that's where we'll leave for F1, because I think we could get onto a real tangent. I don't know where we've actually got up to in terms of, what's been discussed and what's not been discussed. So have you discussed the Rory McIlroy stuff?
No. I literally just rambled on about what I'd been up to, and we had a little chat in the chat, and that was about it, really.
Really had a chat in the chat.
We did have a chat in the chat. Talked about me streaming tomorrow and stuff. But yeah, so close. I've only got to Q9. Yeah, I did get to the final round once.
What is this game?
It's a trivia quiz. Every 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock British time, and it's £550. If you get all 12 questions right, you split it with. It's usually about like 10 people, so you tend to win about 50 quid. but the questions are quite hard. Multiple choice, 3 choices. You only get 10 seconds to answer, so you can't Google answers and stuff. But no, I got the final round once, and it was something about some artist. What was he famous for bringing in? Was it like surrealist or futurist or something else? And I put surrealist, and it was futurist. So anyway, what's going on here? The Senna film freaked me out. He stopped kissing that woman. Happy New Year. The year he died. And also reading the bit in the Bible about today you might meet your maker. If true, that's weird. That sounds pretty weird to me. I can't like Williams now, not only the decline, but how Frank has mismanaged the team. I like Renault now because I like Benetton, but I like teams, not the drivers, the opposite of Joe. I mean, yeah, I do like the drivers more than the teams, I've got to say. You know, but I don't particularly like Red Bull or I don't know, let's think of another example. I'm not the biggest fan of Ferrari, but you know.
Yeah, but when Kimi's there, you can't not like him.
But yeah, I like Kimi. You see, it's that sort of thing. I like Kimi. I like Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, no, but I don't really like the teams. I've warmed to Hartley. So the game is called Trivia Quiz. No, it's called HQ. Or HQ Trivia, I think it's called actually. I like Toro Rosso 2 mostly because it's who I played in my F1 2017 career mode.
I need to do one of them.
What, an F1 2017 career mode?
I do, because I never actually got round to doing one.
What, on the channel or just in private?
No, just you know.
Well, what about your Haas one?
Well, I deleted that because I wanted to get 3 achievements. I'm sad, aren't I? To get the achievements to start with. Who is it now? One of the top 3, one of the middle 4, and one of the bottom 3. And that gets you about 50 gamer score on it.
I thought you could have multiple saves.
No, I only think you can have one.
Ah, I thought they'd added in this year that you could have multiple saves. Never mind.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, obviously I had the Renault one. I don't know who to go with this year. I'll probably do something. We will discuss the PGA game in a minute, Paul. But yeah, F1 2018. I quite fancy Renault again, but that's not original, is it? So we'll go Mercedes just to be different to everybody else.
Well, I want this HQ thing. What's going on?
What, you want to hear about it, or you're going to download it?
Well, I'm on it.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's in the middle of a game, isn't it? So
right.
Yeah, so you won't be able to join now. But anyway, PGA Tour. Obviously, the most recent one.
Sorry, not you.
was released in 2015. And Williams, I could be Williams, actually, but I can imagine the likes of Arif or Ben will probably do that. But, yeah, so Rory McIlroy was released in 2015. That was the last golf game. There was only 8 real-life golfers on release, which I think, you know, was a little bit rubbish, to be honest. When you think the year before, Tiger Woods 2014, it had the most amount of content that there's ever been in a golf game. It had all 4 majors. It had a load of golfers, loads of tournaments, and then they sort of went to next gen, probably a year too early, really. And, you know, there's 3 majors on it. They don't have Augusta, unfortunately. But no, it's a decent game. You've been playing a lot of it over the last couple of weeks, haven't you? Since the Masters, I assume that's why you started playing it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I played it a couple of years ago. I've always kind of been interested in doing a career mode on it on YouTube, but I don't really know how I would do it. But yeah, the problem with the PGA...
I'm not the biggest golf fan itself. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm not the biggest golf fan myself, but I love playing the games.
Yeah, same. I'm not the biggest golf fan. I'll watch it if it's on the telly. But, I'm not the biggest fan, but I do keep up to date with it. I know kind of who's who in it. So, the problem with PGA games is EA still have the license. They have no interest in sports games unless they can push the Ultimate Team.
Yeah, you're
Completely
right.
agree, Paul. I mean, you know, I was looking at the amount of games that EA used to do. Sort of the James Bond games they used to do. They used to do the cricket games every year. They used to do F1 games. They used to do.
Gotcha.
They actually used to do FIFA Manager as well as FIFA, and you know they had
Mario Andretti Race.
you know,
No
exactly.
way.
There you go. They had a lot of stuff. They even had rugby games, I'm pretty sure, but they don't have any of that now. And
Yeah.
it's totally right, Paul. You know, it's the multiplayer aspect. You know, looking at EA games now, you've got Star Wars Battlefront, which they've turned into multiplayer only. You know, you don't have the offline galactic conquest that you used to have. That made the old Battlefront games absolutely brilliant. You've got Battlefield now, which is just multiplayer. They don't even really make a proper campaign for it. At least COD, you know, make the effort of making a decent campaign. And obviously they've got FIFA. I'm pretty sure they haven't got anything else, you know, that's
Groundbreaking.
you know, that famous. I think they've got Madden over in America, but they probably have an Ultimate Team type thing for that. But FIFA has just become an online fest. You know, career mode has been neglected for 6-7 years now, which is a big shame. It really is a big shame.
Need for Speed as well. And The Sims, of course.
Need for Speed, yeah. And The Sims, you know, yes, they've brought out The Sims 4, but, you know, they only brought it to console in November. I think that's a little bit disappointing. But, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And yeah, the PGA Tour thing, it is probably time for a new game, but
Yeah.
you know, I think they need a lot more golfers, a lot more courses, because you know you've played one season of it and you've got no interest in doing a season 2 because it's just the same over and over again.
Yeah.
And
Well, the thing is, they've got to, before making a new game, I don't care if there's a game for 5 years, because if they release a game now and it's exactly the same as the old one, what's the point? You know, they've got to bring something new to the table. And, you know, the nice thing about the last few Tiger Woods, you know, you had the Masters on one of them. Oh, that was brilliant. But on this one, there's no Masters. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
there's no Ryder Cup either. You know?
No. You've got to have one of the big competitions on there out of those two. But just a little review of the game personally. I thought it was brilliant. You know, the actual career mode itself, and really the way you play in terms of, you know, controls and all that. It's quite easy. But the problem is it gets a bit too easy once you get into it and learn the tricks of the shots. And
I think you need to up the difficulty of the swing. I think that's the problem.
Probably. But yeah, it gets a little bit too easy. But like you say, it's not very realistic, is it, Paul? Because, you know, you literally start. I think it's something like the new player challenge or something like that. And that's a PGA event. You play that, and then you just go straight into another PGA event. There's no... I mean, even when you win, you don't even get a trophy presentation. You just get, congratulations, US Open. Congratulations, you won the PGA Tour. Congratulations, you won the FedEx Cup. You know, you just think, it's mad, you know, EA being such a massive company. If it was an indie company, fair enough. But EA are a massive company. And it's frustrating. But then again, if they made, look at this from a business point of view, if they made the most complete PGA Tour game, they wouldn't have to bring one out again until the next generation of consoles, because no one would be interested because there'd be nothing else to add.
Well, yeah, unless they make it a yearly release, which they did with Tiger Woods, you know, like that's the problem with Rory McIlroy PGA Tour, is that there's no year attached to it, so there's no need in their eyes to bring out a new one, a new fresh one, because it is the only golf game out there with licenses. You know, as few licenses as they have, it means a lot to some people. And you know, they've got the golf club, which is its big rival, I guess. And I think they've got a sort of Don Bradman Academy style thing, you know, where you users upload the golfers and whatever, and you can download them and play with them golfers. But Yeah, the thing is, Don Bradman Cricket was great for career mode. It was, but I also think they went too far the other way. It took you too long to actually get to the interesting things.
That's the problem.
And it's stuff like with F1 2012, I think you had the young drivers test, and I know it was a bit annoying once you'd done it 3 or 4 times, but that first time, loading the game up, it gives you a chance to drive a car and prove yourself, and the better you did in that young driver test, the better contracts you got. I think Lotus was the best in them days that you could get, and you know, everybody tried the hardest to get that one because it was quite a fun team to be with. And I think F1 was spoiled when they allowed you to pick any team for the start.
Absolutely.
Of the career mode. You know, back in 2010, if you picked the longest career possible, you could only pick the back 3 teams, and that was great. That was a challenge, and because you literally couldn't get out of Q1 with these cars because they were so slow. They were 2 seconds off sort of Toro Rosso, which were the sort of 9th best or worst team as it was, and you know, you were always 19th to 24th, and it was the same with 2011, I believe. You know, but if you only wanted to do 3 seasons, you could still drive for, say, Williams or Force India, but you could never choose the top 3 teams, and I think that's what spoils it for F1, because you can get up to, like me, I got into Red Bull in my 2nd season, and that sort of spoiled it for me because there was no longer any sort of challenge, you know. But I think maybe the challenge would be to get into Mercedes, but then once you're in Mercedes, it's a bit boring, you know. And so it's a difficult one. But F1 2010 definitely nailed it in terms of career modes.
Definitely. I agree with what OLP is saying in the comments about a DLC into a game every year, because the 2 most important things for games generally is immersion and progression. And the only problem with Rory McIlroy, I feel like it's immersed. You know, I do feel like because the commentary's so good, it's brilliant. You know, the crowd, you know, you get all a bit, not riled up, but you get a bit hyped when you're near to the end of a tournament, and you feel a little bit of pressure. But the progression's not there because it's too easy. Whereas, as you say, with Don Bradman, the immersion's there because you play, you know, for a village team, so you feel like, I suppose, it could be you. But then the progression's not there, so you've got to have a nice fine balance of the 2 of them. But I agree with the DLC idea, because let me just ask you now, out of all games at the moment, what is the game that's, you know, lived and had the longest life of games that have been on this current gen?
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Shut up.
And you know why? Because they keep adding DLC, free updates, which are fantastic. And in the most recent one, they added a Splinter Cell mission, which is fantastic. You know, but that's the sort of thing. You know, they keep expanding the game, free updates, and yeah. But no, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say GTA 5. I've been but you know, there's people who still play that, and I think the problem with stuff like Rory McIlroy is that. Yeah, I only got it because it was like £3 on the store, and I thought, oh, I quite like golf games. But I can guarantee, like, Joe would get it. You know, pick it up. Oh, this is good. You know, put it in this PS4, play the career mode, get bored, and then I can guarantee he took it out, put it on the shelf, and never played it again. Because there's not that. There's not the there's not the urge to play it again because there's not the progression there, and that's like me really now because I've done the first season. The only reason I do a 2nd season is just to get a few more achievements, like because I don't think I won the EA Sports Spring International. So what I'll just do is just, you know, skip to that, win that, and then get the achievement, and then not be bothered after that because there's no point dominating because there's no fun in the game. Then is there? There's no fun in the game. But I suppose, as you say, maybe increase the screen difficulty.
Yeah, because I know, because I watched a career mode of somebody and he did over 100 episodes, and he had, like you, the problem. He was winning everything. He turned the swing difficulty up, and all of a sudden, you know, it was more competitive. And even by episode 100, he was still competitive with the other guys, but not winning everything. Bellix, yes, I do know Michael Ironside returned for Splinter Cell, the voice actor. who was left out inexplicably, that's the one, out of Splinter Cell Blacklist because they were doing some mocap stuff, and basically Michael Ironside's a bit old to be doing all the kung fu that Sam Fisher's capable of, but no, and apparently it's a sort of prequel to maybe a game coming out this year. I'm not going to hold my breath, but if it does come out, that would be fantastic. But, yeah, not even having a Ryder Cup, President's Cup, or World Match Player modes is just lazy. It's just generic stroke play. Yeah, totally agree. Michael Ironside is Sam Fisher. He certainly is. He certainly is. And as soon as you hear that voice in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, it's a good moment. It's a good moment. But the worry for me is that, you know, I'm playing Far Cry 5 at the moment, and they've pretty much ripped the format of Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is another one of Ubisoft's games, and it's just quite worrying that game developers in general just seem to be going with tried and tested things now. You know, they've seen that it worked for Ghost Recon, so they've brought it into the Far Cry 5 world, and Far Cry 5 is a fantastic game. I'm really enjoying it, but you know, it's not that much different from Ghost Recon in the grand scheme of things. And you know, we were talking about EA, and the only games they make are very similar. You know, Battlefield and Battlefront are virtually the same game, except Battlefront takes place in the Star Wars universe, and FIFA's the same every year. They go with tried and tested things, and you know, you were playing a horse racing game over the weekend, and you know, I thought it was cracking because, you know, if you did the career mode in that, you would have had to groom your horse and whatever, and
right, yeah.
You know, that's something different, isn't it? I don't think game developers do things that are different. I think that's why there was such a hype about No Man's Sky when that came out, because people were thinking, this is something totally different than what we've seen before. Like, yeah, most people didn't like it, but it is totally different than everything else out there. And I think game developers just need to do that. They really do, because F1 got into the habit from 2012 or 2011 really to 2015 of just pumping out virtually the same game. You know, except in 2015 they took the career mode out. It's weird, as I've seen a Michael Ironside interview, that as soon as he opens his mouth, it's Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell. Yeah. What are you researching, Toby? I hear you typing furiously.
I've just one of my mates is writing an email, and I'm just proofreading it. That's all.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I'm having to practically rewrite the email. No, I'm joking. But you're talking about Splinter Cell, so I'm completely, you know, zoned out.
I mean, I wasn't, to be fair, but
see, I'm zoned out that much.
Yeah.
But Easter review, what's that?
I don't know. Just talking about what we were up to.
Nothing really.
I think Toby's bored of this podcast now.
No. I'm a bit tired, I'll admit that. But yeah, I didn't really do much over the Easter break. Had a bit of chocolate, I suppose. Watched a bit on the telly. Made a few videos. But the problem is now, particularly tonight, I don't fancy making any tonight, thank you very much. You might as well just carry on.
No, but I was just talking about how game developers have sort of are bringing games out there using tried and tested methods rather than being creative with games now, and I think that's really sad. And that's, you know, he's not listening. Yeah. Oh no, he is. He is listening. Should have podcasted with OLP. Well, it can be arranged. The problem I had with No Man's Sky was I brought all the excitement of a daily job to the console. Hello, Rivlud. A smiley face appears from nowhere. I got into streaming on Twitch this Easter, so that's something. Brilliant stuff. Not a plug. Go and follow Bellix on Twitch. Shall we make Bellix an honorary mod so he can post
why not?
So he can post the link to his Is Twitch in the chat? I don't have the internet to stream properly. I mean,
No.
neither does Toby. So you know, you're not alone there. Not alone there. But there he is. He's a mod. He is a mod. There you go, Bellix. You are now a mod. It should be an honour for you. But no, I think only got 220k upload speed. I think Toby's is a bit better than that.
Just a tad.
Mine's a little bit better than that. But yeah, again, I've had to stream this in 720p.
Oh, poor lad. Quick thing for everyone. I know we usually come up with these topics, but just to get a gauge off you guys, what you guys would be interested in us talking about. Obviously, you know, sport, film, TV, games as well. Is there anything you guys particularly want us to talk about next week? I mean, you know, we've always got topics in the pipeline, but if there's something that you guys really want us to discuss, I mean, we were going to talk about the Grid Girls debate, weren't we, Formula One? At some points, and I feel that'd be quite appropriate soon with, you know, a few talks about maybe that decision being reversed.
Well, for Monaco it is being reversed.
And Russia.
So maybe we could talk about it the week before Monaco.
Potentially, yeah. But I'd just like to gauge, you know, what you guys are thinking, because obviously sometimes, you know, the stuff that we pick, you know, we're interested in, but maybe you guys aren't so interested in it, and maybe that might mean that perhaps you don't turn on sometimes and don't watch the podcast sometimes. I know we've got a lot of people that are loyal to it whenever we talk about it, and I really appreciate that, but I just want to see if there's anything that you guys really want us to talk about. It should be interesting, to be honest. And then, you know, we can make up a huge document of, you know, or a very small document, depending on how many of you...
Probably the latter.
Probably, yeah. But for next week... we could talk about Man City, yeah. We could talk. Well, we've already talked
that one, yeah. Paul. I like that one a lot, but
VAR. That would be an interesting topic.
You know, I've never actually seen a VAR decision.
How would you improve F1? That's again very interesting topic. Yeah, Grid Girls. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
Toby, get a spreadsheet up and get these.
Yeah, go on. You sort it out. You're the host.
Okay, right.
I'm going to put this one in the chat and try and be subtle so he doesn't see it. He's looking at the chat now, isn't he?
I always look at the chat. I mean, I want to be Ant, so, you know. Right, so, Matt... should we talk about cricket? No, I'm joking, Toby. I'm joking. I think gaming related would be awesome. Well, we do try every week. Worst game ever. Now I have a candidate for that, and it's sat on my shelf.
Yes, I've also got a candidate for that. Yeah.
Grid Girls.
That's not a game.
Grid is a game.
Grid Girls.
VAR.
Potentially.
PSVR views. I mean, I've never used it, so.
Flood's getting your banter, like Frankie Will.
Geordie royalty. The leading edge covers that now. Yeah, it does. No. World Cup predictions. That's a good one.
England are out. Sorry.
I think that we probably will do a big World Cup preview the week before that starts. So, you know, that's if we're still doing this then. Which I think we will be. How to improve F1. That was one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm happy with continuing it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's just tonight I've been a bit rushed, to be honest. I've not had the best of days, but you know, It happens. It happens.
It happens. I know.
A top 10 list. Oh yeah, top 10 games. What you're playing at after Splinter Cell? LA Noire. Is that an old joke now? Is it getting a bit boring? Who made that joke in the first place?
You.
It wasn't. Don't lie. Wasn't me in the first place.
I actually recorded some LA Noire today. So.
Oh, good.
Well,
Old school games. What, Bear in the Big Blue House's Big House Party? That's quite an old school game.
Speaking of old school games, did you see me Championship Manager 2001 season that I picked up in CEX yesterday?
I did, yeah.
Fantastic stuff. I wasn't sure if the podcasts would ever come back. I mean, to be fair, Ruvlud, we did say last time out that they wouldn't be back for a couple of weeks, and then last week I was ill, so...
Yeah, it's just always tricky sometimes. At the end of the day, we do have lives sometimes, and at the end of the day, sometimes we just aren't up for it sometimes, so we can wriggle it about sometimes, and maybe it might be Thursday Night Live. How to get your hair cut.
Oh dear. Rivlud, my Motorsport Manager is broken, so can't play. How is it broken? Can you not just uninstall it and install it again on Steam? That's what I'd do. Watch that fix it, and Joe will be forever known as the DIY repairman for Motorsport Manager. Might watch the F1 2010 episode 1. Go for it, Rivlud. Yeah, as many views as that got, it only got 8 likes and 2 dislikes, so I've decided not to do another video of it. But yeah, you can share it with your community. Yeah, if you're not feeling right, you can share your pain. Okay. I don't know if Rivlud's serious here. I tried that, still broken. We'll send you a picture. Okay. I don't know what I can do about it, particularly if it's not working on Steam. But I think my Motorsport Manager is working. You could do a podcast again about your modern gaming gripes. Wasn't that tonight? Avengers Infinity War preview. I mean, I'm not into that, but are you into that?
No.
I will be doing a sort of soul podcast on Thursday. It won't be live or anything, but I will be doing a preview to the World Championship on, well, that starts on Saturday. You can trust us, we are your friends.
Friends.
But no, it's 9:30. It's rather late now. Hopefully we'll get some news on whether Designated Survivor is going to be renewed soon. Best film of the year. Have you seen any? I don't actually think I've seen any films this year. New films. I don't know about you, Toby. I mean, Toby's dead, but The Showman got a lot of hype from what I've heard. Yeah. I think it did. I think it was the soundtrack was number 1 for 11 weeks. So yeah. Why a lunchtime podcast would be awesome.
Well, I can't do a lunchtime podcast because I'm not here.
I don't know why he's. I guess he's talking about the World Championship preview. No, it's not. Well, it might be live. I don't know. It depends what I decide to do with it. It might be a good way to do it live, and then I don't have to edit it. What a good idea, Mr. Rivlud. What a good idea. Black Panther.
I don't think I've seen any new films this year.
No, I haven't. I mean, I've seen on DVD Olaf's Frozen Adventure, courtesy of Rachel. So, can you do a video on them, perhaps? Podcast about the future of YouTube streaming compared to Twitch. That could be quite a good one. YouTube versus Twitch. I like it. Toby's face there. No, all Lady Players is against Twitch, so You know, that is a big
Preach
plus.
out.
That is a big plus in the YouTube column for me. Can you do a video on them, perhaps, or a podcast? I don't know what about the films? I mean, we could, but I don't think we'd be very knowledgeable. Always supporting the #1 FM tuber. I like that. FM tuber. Not the #1 at playing FM, but maybe they're the #1 at creating content. No, but brand new series on my channel starting on Monday. I don't know about your plans, Toby. Obviously, we've got the MotoGP going at the moment. We've got Retro Sundays as well.
It's just tricky at the moment. I've been a bit busy these last few days, and I'm a bit tired at the moment. And unfortunately, it's a hobby, isn't it? And sometimes it can't fit in.
What about a Palmo vlog, Joe? Best films you've ever watched. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Best films.
That would be quite an interesting discussion, Paul, about Trump. But it might be one that ends with me getting shot.
Donald Trump.
I think the problem is,
discuss.
I've heard a few people say this. If you talk about politics, no one's going to agree because nobody is willing to compromise on politics because everyone has their little opinions. Oh, God, River, do not ask about studies. I'm going to have to tell Joe some interesting news once we go off air.
Is it about maths?
No comment.
To be fair, I could mute the mic and the desktop, and you could tell me now. And it would be up to whether people can lip read.
Oh, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But no, let's not tease them.
Train Spotting, hands down my favourite movie ever. Commodore 64 is your favourite. I seen a Super Nintendo in CEX yesterday. £56, I think they wanted for it. But by the way, the CEX scandal. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
About how they're printing their own sleeves for retro games, and so people are paying 50-60 quid for these GameCube games, expecting the original packaging, and it's actually a CEX print that's going inside it. And I seen it myself in there yesterday with Simpsons Hit and Run, which they're charging a tenner for, which is quite a lot for a PS2 game. And and I noticed the blue on the Simpsons. I thought that's a bit bright, so I had a look at it, and it had CEX printed on the inside sleeve, and it's just like, they're charging a tenner for it. Even if they charged 8 quid rather than a tenner, I think people would be, it's still a lot of money, but if you're paying £10 for a PS2 game, you want the original stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What's up, TIJ? Don't you trust us, bro? I'll let him answer that. Can you imagine that one day some bunch of kids will have to call Joe Mr. Hannah? To be fair, Bellix, I've already had that. I had my own class when I was in year 13, and they called me Mr. Hannard, and it was one of the funniest things ever. The first time Rachel came up here, we went down the park, we got an ice cream, turned around, they were like, "Hi, Mr. Hannard." It was just so funny because it was just surreal being saw by students outside of school. But yeah, best game ever was Street Sports Basketball, Spectrum ZX81. I found out the other day that my nana used to have a Spectrum, and when they cleared out a house after she died, they apparently threw it in the bin, and I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified, because that would have been an original Spectrum, and that would have just been, a moneymaker. GCEX, I know, yeah, definitely. So many topics to discuss. Mr. Hannard, how are you today? Good evening, Mr. Hannard. That must be surreal. A young aspiring teacher making a name for himself. No, I think we've exhausted all possible topics at the minute. But if you have got any topics that you would like us to discuss, either tweet us on Twitter, message us on Discord, go into the Captain Goodspeed Discord and leave a suggestion in there. You know, I have a look at everything that goes in there as well. And just let us know, or in the comments of this video, if you think of something, let us know, and we'll try and get around to it at some point. We'd definitely like to do that more, I think, sort of have one topic that we choose and one topic that the audience chooses. I think eventually would be the thing I'd like to do with the podcast, but we don't really have the audience big enough to do that yet. But anyway, can I just say thank you to everybody that has stuck it out for nearly 2 hours tonight. Obviously, you had Captain Goodspeed going solo, not Roald Dahl, Captain Goodspeed going solo at the start of the podcast, and we had a bit of fun. But then good old Toby came along, and he was ranting and raving, and you know, he was abusing people in the chat, and he was, you know, doing this and that, and saying how much he hates Nico Hulkenberg. Other strikes gone, yes, they've come to an agreement. But no, thank you very much for coming along. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, and let us know down in the comments what you'd like us to discuss, or your thoughts on anything we've discussed tonight. It has been a fun one. I really appreciate the support. I'm sure Toby does as well. He'll come round to his senses at some point. And we shall see you next week for 2 brand new topics on sport and gaming. Have you got anything else to say, Toby?
That they all love me in the chat, don't they, really? That's what I have to keep telling myself. I suppose thank you all for watching. And what does he say now? What does he say? I've just got a complete memory block. That's the one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
He said it.